I'm not sure really what to think of the economy. Many, even before Trump took office, there are a lot of signs the economy is not doing as great as Biden's cheerleaders were saying, Bidenomics and all that. Um, there's all sorts of, whether it's just from honest mistakes or political fiddling with the numbers, lots of questionable stats coming out from the various government bureaus. A really big one was, people were questioning the unemployment figures and say these make no sense. Basically, every month, with like a few exceptions for I don't know how many years, the they'd release the jobs report, then 2 weeks later revise it down a lot. And then I can't remember now. It was the end of last summer or sometime around then. The job, like they did like the first big revision for I think the 2023 numbers. It was a massive, massive revision downward. Hundreds of thousands of jobs didn't exist that they predicted, and you can, people are like, oh, we have such a great unemployment rate. We're practically at full unemployment. Well, labor market participation is down, and it's been trending down for years, but it has dropped below the trend after COVID. So it's were things to keep going down at their previous rate, we'd have something like I can't remember, 1 million or 2 million more people in the labor force. And this sort of might segue into my long term, I wouldn't say pessimism, but uh, not optimism for the more long term future. I'm really happy with 95% of what Trump's done, and I'm agnostic on the tariffs to see how that plays out. I think there's a potential, there's a method to the madness. On the other hand, it's sort of what happens after Trump. And I'm not so sure, the sense of it takes a long time to, it takes 5 minutes to destroy something that might have taken 100 years to build. And on the one hand, this can work to our favor because Trump is wrecking, with Elon Musk, the federal bureaucracy. And that can't be put together right away. I mean, people are leaving DC in droves. Average home price in DC dropped about $100,000 since Trump took office. Uh, so people, I think, the vast government bureaucracy class might start to worry about working for the government as being unstable. Because even if a Democrat were to win in 4 years, there's still the potential, well, the next Republican is just going to redo all this over again. So they might not want to be ping pongs. But on the other hand, progressive ideology has just wrecked the American social fabric. Mediating institutions, family, church, community are in disarray. And we see this with marriage rates. I'm 31, I'm not married. Historical aberration for basically all of human history up to this point, but perfectly average now. This has negative consequences in my view. And getting back to all of the labor force participation rate decline, there's been roughly 7 to 8 million prime age working men, which is men aged 25 to 45, who are not working. They're not doing anything. They're called NEETs, not employed, educating, or training. And, from what we know of social surveys of them, I mean, they're on screens, basically the equivalent of, a full-time job, watching Netflix, playing video games. About half of them are on some form of painkiller, whether this is opioids or weed and whatnot. I mean, they basically have dropped out of society. And at any other point in human history, this would be a great cause of alarm because having this giant portion of men in their prime years who are not invested in society, either two things would happen. Either one, they'd leave that society and start raiding, pillaging, conquering their neighbors, or they would overthrow the existing order. So one potential fear I have is that, down the road, some sort of charismatic figure could mobilize these, NEETs, as it were, and give them some sort of existential vision that could result in, I mean, this is all in the context of America's constitutional order is crumbling, in my view. It's, not just in the sense of the words on the paper of the Constitution, but constitutions only work if the people that it's supposed to govern have a constitutional personality, and that's in rapid decline. So yeah, it's I suppose in the long term, I'm like, we've got a lot more work to do, even though everything Trump is doing, well, almost everything Trump's doing is good.
If you liked this video, check out the full interview. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching.